Moving on now, Israel will take part in the negotiations this weekend in Paris with the United States, Qatar and Egypt.
Now, of course, this will be on a potential deal for a ceasefire and release of hostages in Gaza. The head of Palestinian militant group Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, was in Egypt this week, in the strongest sign in weeks that negotiations, they still remain alive.
Right. And speaking on the sidelines of a G20 foreign ministers meeting taking place in Brazil, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the United States is focused on getting an agreement to release the remaining hostages. And he also spoke on the latest U.S. veto of a Security Council resolution, saying that it was actually silent on hostages and that the timing was not the best.
The conflict in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. We're focused intensely on trying to get an agreement that results in the release of the remaining hostages and that produces an extended humanitarian ceasefire. And again, those are goals that I think virtually everyone in the G20 shares.
Foreign ministers at the G20 group of nations meeting in Brazil were nearly unanimous in their support for a two-state solution as the only path to peace in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
This comes even as fighting rages on in Gaza. Palestinian Enclave's health ministry has said that in Khan Younis, Israeli forces raided Nasser Medical Complex shortly after withdrawing from it. The World Health Organization said that it is aiming to evacuate some of the roughly 140 patients stranded there.
Whereas Israeli airstrikes continue to hit southern Gaza's Rafah on Thursday, a mosque was flattened and homes were destroyed. According to Hamas, the death toll has topped 29,000 in Gaza. In the last 24 hours, at least 97 people were reported killed in the besieged strip.
The head of Doctors Without Borders told the United Nations Security Council that children are traumatized, while the United Nations said that it is worried over the impact that an invasion of Rafah by the Israeli forces will have on the civilian community.
The UN has said that it has seen credible allegations that Palestinian women and girls have been subjected to sexual assaults, including rape, while in Israeli detention. They are further calling for a full investigation.
Now, this comes as thousands of protesters marched to New York office of pro-Israel lobby group American Israel Public Affairs Committee, calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war.